Welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to be continuing on with our SwiftUI tutorial series, and in this particular tutorial we are going to be taking a look at how we can use menu commands in SwiftUI. Now there are many ways that you can do this, and we're going to go through them here. So when we think about menu commands, we generally think of the ones that are in the main macOS menu bar. And that is the primary purpose for what we're going to be doing today. But it is also compatible with iOS and iPadOS. So you don't have to surround your code for your menu commands in a hashtag if OS macOS block. It'll just work. All right. So the first thing that we're going to take a look at how to do is how to store our commands in our own custom command menu. So the first thing that we want to do is inside of our main app struct, the struct where that conforms to app and has all that in it. We want to use the .commands modifier, and this takes a command builder. It's much like a view builder in normal SwiftUI views, except we're not using views here. We're accepting commands. So this will be any command primitive that SwiftUI gives us. Now there are some built-in items. In particular, there are items for text editing and text formatting, but we'll take a look at those primitives here towards the end. But to create our own menu, it'll be the command menu. All right, and this command menu struct takes in the title of our menu. So in this case, we'll call it. Let's call it sort. All right, and then for its content, this takes in a closure that returns some kind of view. So it's a content closure. Inside of our command menu, we can put buttons, dividers, toggles, pickers, stuff like that to construct our menus. Or construct our menu, rather. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a couple toggles here. All right. Or actually no, we're not going to have some toggles. We'll have a picker. Where we'll have picker. And we'll say project sort order selection $ project sort order, and we'll say text ascending by name. We'll attach a tag to it. Text descending by name. .tag with a 1 inside of that, like that. And then we can also have another picker in here. So we can copy this and paste that in there. And then instead of project sort order, we can say tag sort order. And then tag sort order. And all that sort of stuff. Now, we can also have a button. And this button could be called reset sort order. And that can do something. And then we can also have another button that says shuffle projects. And another button that says shuffle shuffle tags, like that. All right, and we can then save this and run our code. Of course, our build will fail because we don't have things for the bindings. But I can go ahead and add that here real quick. I'll say app storage project sort order var project sort order. It's going to be an int equal to 0. Or actually, we'll set this to -1. Storage tag sort order var tag sort order int equals -1. So neither of our options in either picker will be selected. Okay. Let's make sure that everything's working here. All right. So I'm going to tag. There we go. All right. All right. We'll convert that to a binding. All right. Okay, now period tag. Okay, we need to enclose that in a parenthesis. Okay, we should be able to run our code now. We gotta let the code run, do its thing. It does take a little bit. Okay, so here's our application. We just have hello world in the center, but we're not focused on the window, we're focused on the menu bar. So you can see all the normal stuff here. We have our Apple menu, we have our app menu, we have file, edit, view, and then you can see sort. Now, all custom menu command menus that you specify, they will always come right before window and help. So here's our sort menu. If we look inside, we can see our project sort order. So let's go ahead and say descending by name. Tag sort order. We'll say ascending by name for that one. Sort. And then you can see reset sort order and shuffle projects, shuffle tags, so on and so forth. So that's how we can construct our own custom command menus. The next thing that we can do is we can replace or remove entire groups of commands using the command primitive CommandGroup. Now, how do we replace commands here then? Well, what we can do is I'm going to go above our custom command menu. All right. And then we'll say command group. And we can place commands after a specific command or group of commands. We can go ahead and place them before specific commands or groups of commands. We can replace certain items in certain commands or groups of commands with our own stuff. Right. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and specify after first. And then command group placement tells us, okay, which commands do we want to place this group of commands after? Which command or group of commands do we want to place this after? So you could say app info, app settings, app termination, app visibility, help, import export, new item, pasteboard, print item, save item, sidebar, single window list, system services, text editing, text formatting, toolbar, undo and redo, all that sort of stuff here. So let's say window arrangement. And then this addition parameter is a content closure. So what commands do we want to place after the group of commands for for the command placement that we just specified? Well, let's say let's say we want to have a button that says test after command, just as a test to make sure that this is working, we can run, save the code. All right. Now, when we search through our menus here, it should be under Window. All right. So there's our test after command, and indeed it does appear before the group of commands for dealing with the window arrangement. But what about before, right? So we can go back into Xcode. And I'm going to copy this command group, paste it in, but instead of after, we'll change this parameter to before. All right. So now the command inside of this command group should appear before our window arrangement group of commands. And I will change the text of this to before, test before command. Let's go ahead and run our code. All right. So now when we go to our window menu, now, of course, you can see our test before command appears right before our test after command, and that might not be what you expect to happen, and sometimes the system may override your choices, as is the case here. We do see our commands here, but the system overrode what we wanted. All right. So I'm going to get rid of these command groups. All right. And then finally, let's take a look at replacing commands. So we can say command group replacing, let's say .help. We'll pass it a content closure. Now, what do we want to replace this with? Well, we could say something like button replacement for help, like that. We can save it and run it. And so you can see here, replacement for help is right there, inside of our help menu. However, if you wanted to if you wanted to remove an item, what you could do we can, so instead of help, command group replacing, and instead of help, we can say something like, let's say, let's say app info, maybe. So app info. Instead of having like a button or something like that, to remove items, we would simply say we want to replace a specific group of items with empty view, like that. Now we can run our code here. And we can see we don't see any about command items here. However, if we go back into Xcode and we remove this command group where we're replacing the app info with an empty view, and we go to our main application menu here, you can see about right there. All right, so that is how we can replace and remove commands from command groups. The last thing I want to show you before we take a look at some of the other text editing and text formatting commands primitives that I mentioned is I want to show you how you can create your own commands primitives to reuse them wherever you would like. So I'm going to go into Xcode here, and let's go ahead and just do this in this file here. What you want to do is you will say struct, and let's say sort commands, colon, commands, and then for its body property, which is required, you will need var body sum commands. And so inside of here, we can say command menu. We can replace. So I'm going to go down here to the bottom. And we can grab we will cut this and we'll say sort commands project sort order $ project sort order tag sort order $ tag sort order, and then back in our commands body, we can plop that menu command in there, or that command menu rather. And then we are also going to need @ binding var project sort order int at binding var tag sort order int like that. And so we can save this and run our code again. There we go. Let's go ahead and go into our menu bar here. And we can see our sort menu is there exactly how we intended it to. Except now we can reuse it wherever we need to reuse it. So that is very helpful. Now the last thing that I want to take a look at with you is the text editing commands and text formatting commands command primitives that SwiftUI gives us. So we have our commands modifier here. And then we have our sort commands menu there. But what if we need text editing and formatting commands in our application? Well, to do that, we can say text editing commands and text formatting commands. Right? So text editing commands, text formatting commands, like that. Now if we take a look, here, and we take a look at its documentation, so if we take a look here at the documentation, this is, as it says, this is specifically for commands that change the style of selected text. And of course, again, these are optional. You don't have to include them. And you can pass these to the commands modifier as we've done here, and they'll appear. It's the same deal with let's see. It's the same deal with text editing commands. So we can jump to definition here. Now this, of course, is the text editing commands is for for things like searching, editing, and transforming text rather than styling it like the text formatting commands are. Again, this is optional. And you don't have to include this if you don't want to. But they do exist, right? So let's go ahead and run our code now. When we take a look at our menu, or our menu bar, you can see we have a format menu now. This format menu is the text formatting commands. So you can see all the different options that we have here that we can work with. If we go into edit, you can see we have all kinds of other commands here. But of course, you can do all kind. There's other stuff there that you can't get rid of, like the emoji and symbols picker. You can't get rid of that. You can't get rid of dictation menu items. I don't believe you can get rid of the writing tools option as either. So there are things you can't get rid of, and there's things that you can. I urge you to kind of experiment a little bit and see what all you can do. And if there is something you absolutely must get rid of that SwiftUI doesn't allow you to get rid of, in another video here, I will show you how to support an app delegate in your application so you can get rid of those items that way. But that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.